Hola chicos y chicas y all the in-betweeners. This is the introduction to Incognito Latina, or, if you'd prefer, Incognita Latina. I don't really care, because fuck pronouns anyway. If you couldn't tell already, this is probably not a program that is safe for your children, unless your children are, like, real cool and you're one of those hip parents that will say anything in front of their kids, which, good on ya. If not, still good on ya. Anyway, a little bit about what the hell I think I'm doing here. So I decided the other day that, not enough idiots were talking into the internet about what they thought about things. Mostly being on Twitter for the first time, I realized there is really like a dearth of idiocy on the internet. So I was like, hey, I should be involved in this. So now I'm another idiot on the internet who is going to talk about things that are happening and answer questions about things that are happening, no matter how insipid. Or I guess if I'm no longer desperate for questions because people actually care what I think, hashtag you probably shouldn't. Dear God, I'm speaking in hashtags. What am I coming to? Jesus. But yeah, I will answer questions about things and things that I can answer questions about. I will attempt to focus on experiences and subjects that I happen to know a thing or two about, which include growing up and living on the poor side of the world, or being of Hispanic heritage, particularly, as the name of the series suggests, being an Incognita Latina or Incognito Latino, which means everybody thinks I'm white, usually Russian, I'm not sure why. Well, I'm kind of a little bit sure why, because if you couldn't tell, skin's mad white, yo! And certainly if my hair is like blonde or something, I can sneak amongst you and hear all the racist-ass things you say about my people and other people's peoples. So it gives me an interesting perspective on race and on things of that nature. Other things I can talk about, I am a queer person, and by queer, I mean, well, first off, I don't know how the hell to describe myself, but queer in the sense of orientation, because I am bisexual or pansexual or whatever type of sexual means. I don't care what your gender is, or if you even have one, because fuck gender anyway. It's a silly thing. Why do we even do it? I don't know. Tell me. I'm gonna ask you questions too sometimes, like, why the hell do we have to gender everything? Why do we have to call the shrimps that have the babies the male shrimps, but then we get confused because they're the ones having the babies, and we're like, what the hell? Why don't we just not gender things? How about that? Anyway, I am also somewhat on the queer spectrum of gender, period, if you couldn't tell. Probably couldn't tell, because I look pretty ladylike, and I've got a couple of lady lumps, well, a small amount of lady lumps going on right now, but I'll do little videos about, my own personal experiences to explain whatever the hell it is you're looking at, but basically, I'm pretty female most of the time, drag king sometimes, drag queen sometimes, somewhere in between the poles that we invented to describe gender, or the pole and lack thereof, as it were. What other things can I talk about? I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area in California, so things related to race relations, even though I am not black and I will not attempt to speak for black people, there's another thing you should know. I will not attempt to speak for anybody. If I discuss aspects of cultures that I am not a part of, I will strive to only express that which people who are representative of this communities have actually said and think about things. Because I think it's wrong to, no matter how intimate I feel I am with a community, or you are with a community, you know, maybe you were that white kid who grew up in San Lorenzo and everybody you went to school with was black. You might know more about black culture than someone who grew up in, like, the Whitesville, Indiana. BT Dubs, actual place, knew a guy from there. What? But it's still not a great idea for you, having grown up as a white kid, to say that you know what it's like to grow up black. So, but I can discuss things, I can speak to my own experiences and observations, and, you know, who knows, if I can convince my silly-ass friends to show up on this show, maybe they'll say a thing or two, too. What else? Cats, animals of any type. I am also a vegan. So if you want to ask me, like, what the hell's that about? But what about protein? But don't you like the taste of blood? Fun fact. Kinda, but not of other animals, because that's creepy. Other things. I don't know. I'll come up with more things as we go. But this altogether too long introduction to Incognita Latina, Incognito Latino, is over, I guess. So, send me a message, send me a twatter on the twatter. You can twit me anytime. Hashtag I'm new to this, I'm sorry. @wobbly kitty, WOBBLYKITTY. And ask me things. Challenge me on things. Point out if I say something stupid or ignorant, and I will consider this, and I will attempt to fix my brain space. Oh, feminism. Also, the born female and, like I said, mostly presenting as female, so if you want to talk about what it's like to be a lady, how it sucks sometimes, how it's awesome sometimes, I could talk about that shit too. Or being a geek, or all sorts of shit. So, ask me things, and I'll tell you what I think about things. Even if you don't ask me, I might tell you anyway, because I got a lot of thoughts about a lot of things. So, hearts, muchos corazones para todo el internet, y I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye.